Alright then guys, one thing that we need to remember for newspapers is not only do they come up in component 1 section A, but there's also a chance they can come up in component 1 section B. So what I'm going to do is show you how to answer component 1 section B questions based on newspapers. Now it's split into two sections, media industries and audiences, so let's have a look at how we can change these questions from the sample assessment materials to be about newspapers. Okay, so for 3A, we're going for naming the organisation that regulates newspapers. B, red tops are examples of newspaper genre used in the UK. Give 2 other examples of newspaper genres in the UK. And briefly explain the difference between these two genres. Finally, explain why tabloids may be considered controversial. Refer to the Sun to support our points. Okay, so you can see how it sticks fairly close to the original SAMs, but here we're editing them slightly to be about newspapers. Let's get cracking then. Name the organisation that regulates newspapers in Britain. Hopefully you guys will say IPSO. Okay, there we go. Have I given the response? Is it correct? Yes. Red tops are examples of newspapers in the UK. Give 2 other examples of newspaper genres. Broadsheets and free sheet tabloids, okay, or middle market would work well there, okay. So you get 1 mark for each correct answer. I've given 2, so I get myself 2 marks. Briefly explain the difference between these two newspaper genres. Okay, so a broadsheet is more formal in its tone and deals predominantly with hard news stories to appeal to a high class demographic. That's one difference. A free sheet tabloid, on the other hand, caters with soft news stories as tabloids usually do, but is free and usually distributed at train stations for commuters. There's my other difference, okay? And the reason I'd say that you need 2 differences here is because 2 marks, okay? Use your common sense and use the marks to help you when it comes to answering the questions. Have I given 2 marks? Have I given a valid explanation that includes, well, at this point it would be at least one genre of newspaper. Either way, yes, I have. All right, now question 3D has its own mark scheme applicable to it. Again, we've got those key words appearing, guys. Basic, satisfactory, good, and excellent. And what have we learnt? Basic response, basic marks. Okay, so let's have a look then. Why are tabloids considered controversial? A convention of tabloid newspapers is that they sensationalise their stories. By doing this, they make even hard news stories more entertaining. This ensures that their target demographic, often lower on the ABC1 system, are interested. So for example, the Sun often uses imperatives within their headlines to make the tone more threatening or aggressive. Furthermore, they also have a reputation of including obvious bias or incorrect information in their stories. An example of this would be the way that they reported the Hillsborough disaster. It caused widespread controversy and as such led to Liverpool as a whole boycotting the paper. Again, if you want me to do a video on that Hillsborough disaster, pop a comment in the comment section below and I'll get to that as a whole. Alright, so let's have a look then. Have I given excellent, detailed and accurate knowledge of controversy in the newspaper industry? Possibly, I'll leave that for you guys to decide. But I have given reference to the set product and I have used subject terminology. Alright, so our second section then is audiences. Let's have a go at transforming these into newspaper questions. 4A, which company publishes The Sun? 4B, identify one audience for The Sun. C, explain 2 ways in which The Sun is aimed at the audience you have identified. And D, explain why audiences read tabloids such as The Sun. Refer to the uses and gratifications theory in your response. So virtually word for word there, guys, for the original SAMs. Let's get cracking. Which company publishes The Sun? News UK. Have I given the answer? That's correct. Yes, so I get my mark. For 1 mark questions, it's just so simple. It's either right or it's not, guys, okay? Which is why you need to know those companies, particularly for The Sun. 1 audience for The Sun. 25 to 40 C2 to E men who are considered struggled or resigned on the 4C system. Okay, now I would always advise that you break down your audience as far as possible. Even if they're only asking for one audience, I would get into the habit of breaking it down this way, because if you do it this way and you give too much information, you're still going to get the marks anyway. But if you don't give enough, it could stop you getting crucial marks. In this instance, you would get 1 mark for any part, any single part of what the answer that I've given there. Okay, but get into the habit of breaking them down fully. Okay, and I get a little green tick there. Okay, 4C. Now 4C has, again, a separate mark scheme. It's a chunkier mark scheme though, which is why I've included it here. Okay, because we're looking for valid, detailed explanation. Okay, that's the crucial bit. Okay, correct and detailed. Now, crucially as well, we have to make sure that we're still talking about that original audience we identified. We can't waffle off on a tangent. If we don't make it about the audience we've identified in 4B, we won't get the mark. One way that the sun is aimed at men is through the infamous page 3 that's included within the paper. This features scantily clad women, which places the audience in the position of a heterosexual male, as suggested by Laura Mulvey's male gaze theory. It also indicates and signifies the ideology and target demographic of the paper. Furthermore, it can be considered applicable to audiences who are strugglers or resigned, as the paper often focuses on issues that predominantly affect the working classes, such as emphasis on immigration or benefits. Have I given a valid and detailed explanation? Yes, yes. Okay. Right, finally, again, separate mark scheme, same sort of wording though. Basic, satisfactory, good, excellent. Basic response, basic marks. Okay. One reason why audiences choose to read tabloids is because the paper tends to focus on soft news stories. As suggested by Blumler and Katz, the audience choose to engage with media that provides them with entertainment, and the way that the Sun presents their stories, through language techniques such as puns and alliteration, means that the stories are naturally more entertaining. Furthermore, the soft news focus means that the Sun tends to focus on entertainment genre as a whole. Another reason why the audience could choose to engage with tabloids is due to the social talking points that arise from the papers. Not only do tabloids tend to make their bias and ideology more obvious, they also choose a feature content that is designed to generate a response. For example, the Sun includes a section devoted to models in little to no clothing. This may anger the more modern feminist audience and can cause a social talking point as to what is appropriate to publish within the modern age. If you wanted to with a question like this, you could literally give a response on each of those uses and gratifications, okay? So we could comment on the fact that it's informative, we get information from it. We could comment on the fact that it gives us something to relate to within our day-to-day life as well. So we could add in more here to this response. But have I given an excellent and accurate knowledge of audiences in relation to the set product? I'll leave that for you to decide. I have definitely given a detailed, accurate reference to the uses and gratifications theory, and I think I've definitely explained why they use that set product. In fact, you know what? I think I have definitely given a detailed and accurate knowledge of audiences in relation to the product, so I'm going to mark myself for that as well. Here are the key terms for today. Hopefully this was useful. If you have any questions or comments on those exam questions, pop me a message down below in the comment section. I'll do my best to get back to you. Or you can message me through Twitter at media_revision. And if you could subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Hit the little bell icon next to it. You get instant notifications every time I post a new video. And I'll see you guys later for another video.